Hey guys, Bitesize here. So I just thought I'd upload a +9 where I managed to do some pretty decent DPS. I must admit I made quite a lot of mistakes during a dungeon. My cooldown usage was pretty suspect and I had one really stupid death, but it is what it is. This is my, well, I think my gear was a little bit worse than this actually. I think I was 614 during this run, but it was similar to this. Not the best gear. I've had quite a lot of stuff going on IRL recently, so I've not been able to play too much, and kind of something that I'm just going to ramble about a little bit with Shadow Priest in general during this video. But yeah, I've got a Mythic Sack Brood, which is probably my best piece of gear, but not been able to upgrade it because getting crests is proving troublesome. So yeah, most of my gear is like 619 heroic level, apart from a couple of nice things that I got from my cache. Talents, I will have ran this build during the dungeon, and let's get into the gameplay. But yeah, I kind of just wanted to, over this gameplay, just ramble a little bit about Shadow in general and my kind of experience so far in the War Within. I think, personally, I'm actually really enjoying Shadow from like a gameplay standpoint. I'm finding Archon really fun. I really like Halo doing a lot of damage. I really like the amount of Surge of Insanity procs it gives you and the crazy amount of Mind Flay Insanity damage that's happening. All the shadowy apparitions that come off it as well. Like, I'm actually enjoying the spec. I still have my same issues with Shadow Crash and not having a spell since Mindseer got removed where we can sort of just have like some kind of AoE, something to do on like burst AoE. That's still a big gripe of mine, but most of the time it's a non-issue and I am generally enjoying playing Shadow. However, it's kind of proving brutal due to one thing, which is community perception. So, obviously some of you guys will play Shadow Priest too. Maybe you'll be able to relate, maybe your experience is completely different. I'd be interested to know down in the comments. But like, for example, I think my Raider IO right now is 2.2k, I think, which, yeah, it's not the highest, but it's not bad. My eye level is 615. I still struggle to get invited to a +7. Not a +10. Like, people don't want to invite me to a +7 because they just don't want a Shadow Priest. They'd rather wait for a mage or, you know, like an Org or something. And that's purely through community perception. Just the perception of Shadow Priest is really bad. Like, and I do understand, obviously, when you compare us damage-wise to something like, say, an Arcane Mage, admittedly, most of the time, particularly on single target, we're not going to be able to do the same kind of damage that they do. But Shadow's damage really isn't bad. Like, as I said, from a gameplay standpoint, when I'm in a dungeon or a raid, with the caveat that I don't mythic raid just because I can't at the moment due to IRL stuff, but when I'm in a group, like a dungeon or a heroic raid, I can hold my own. I feel like I can hold my own. It's not really something that I'm too bothered about. But the perception is that Shadow is terrible. And I think that's just built up from a few things. There's, number one, kind of modern culture of like, not witch hunting per se, but like herd mentality, pack mentality. Like when everybody's heard Shadow is bad, so it must be bad, right? And everybody kind of follows that. There's also, you know, things like Warcraft log statistics and stuff like that, where people are looking at like, oh, the max percentile for this spec is so much higher than Shadow and blah, blah, blah. And then obviously just things like some people in the community are incredibly vocal about not liking Shadow Priest, which is totally fair. Absolutely entitled to anybody's opinion. But yeah, it's just, Shadow's always had a bit of a bad perception. Like, I've played it on and off for a long time, and it's always been, you know, the underdog spec, which I like. It's one of the things that draws me to the spec. But I don't remember it being as bad as it is now for a long time, in terms of, you know, just trying to get into M+ groups and stuff that you're perfectly geared for and your Raider IO is absolutely fine for. But people just don't want to invite you, just purely because you're not, you know, you're a Shadow Priest, not something like a mage. So yeah, that is proving really tricky, especially because I don't have a guild. I don't have like a raid team. I don't have an M+ team. So even just doing something like a weekly 10, it's something that I've got to get in a pug. And getting people to either invite me to their keys or even join my keys is just, it takes hours sometimes. Like I've been waiting, I think last week to get into a Necrotic Wake 10, it took me hours literally of being in Donegal, signing up and listing my key and, you know, just endlessly like trying to tell people like, give me a chance. Honestly, Shadow's not that bad, but they're all just not interested particularly. And like I say, I think part of that, fair enough, is because of damage, but I think there's also just a deeper problem because, as I've said, even there are several expansions now, a long time, Shadow's always been in this weird position where people don't really want it in a group. Like, they'd kind of rather have something else if they can. Even, you know, power infusion, that's not even enough anymore. And it's really hard to understand exactly what the issue is. I guess it is just purely just down to damage, you know. If Shadow is being praised as one of the best damage specs in the game, I guess word of mouth would get out and the pack mentality might change to inviting Shadow priests. But I just personally, I wonder if there's just something else that they could give to make them more desirable. I think a good example of that is with shamans. So in the War Within, obviously, shamans, they already had pretty darn good utility. But in the War Within, they got given that buff, which increases mastery and gives, like, Wind Fury extra melee attacks. Suddenly, Shaman's perceptions in the War Within is, from an outside point of view, because I'm not playing Shaman, but it's really good, you know? Like, most dungeons that I go in have a Shaman. Most raid groups that I'm in have 3, 4, 5 Shamans. Like, they're everywhere. People, you know, people really want to play them, and people really want them in their groups. So I just wonder if, is there something Blizzard could give priests, Shadow priests or priests specifically, probably just priests specifically, that would increase their desirability? Obviously, we've already got a raid buff, which gives us 5% stamina, but honestly, people don't care. Even though stamina is actually really important, especially when you're doing mythic raiding or pushing high keys, that 5% stamina can be really important. But people just don't care. Like, if it's not boosting DPS or some kind of like measure, people aren't bothered. It's just not appealing. So yeah, I don't know. I wonder, like, you know, maybe could they add some kind of like group damage component to Power Word Fortitude? Could they add some kind of like group component to Vampiric Embrace where it does more than just off healing? Maybe it like buffs people's versatility while it's active or something. I don't know. Again, I'd be interested to know you guys' opinions on that. But yeah, just a little rant on my current experience with Shadow, which is basically I'm really enjoying it, but other people just don't want Shadow Priests in their groups. And as somebody who pretty much strictly pugs, yeah, it's proving kind of exhausting at times, I must admit. But anyway, gonna let this dungeon footage roll out, and let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments, because I'd be really interested to know if your experiences are similar. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys, and catch you later.
Dark Shroud. Open your mind to the whispers. Embrace who you truly are. Face me, Necromancer. Thanakos will be avenged.
I'm so eager to share your underling's fate. Your vaunted courage will be your doom. Your temple lies in ruin. Your brethren are butchered. You have already lost.
Vile monster!
Crossbow falling. Enemy dead. Crossbow falling. Shadow well. Shadow shield. Grasping screen.
Open your mind to the whispers.
Shadow well.
Embrace who you truly are.
One shadow shield. Grasping screen. Shadow well. Grasping screen. One shadow shield. Shadow well. CC. Grasping screen. One shadow shield.
Open your mind to the whispers. Embrace who you will be brought to justice. You dare deny me the sky, and I shall answer in kind.
Frigid spikes.
Foolish Paragon! There is nothing you can do to stop us.
Frigid spikes. Leaping arrows. Frigid spikes. Breathing lips.
No matter. My minions are endless. The forward shall serve me again.
Crossbow falling.
Open your mind
Crossbow
to
falling.
the whispers. Embrace who you truly are.
Necrotic breath.
Will reduce you to dust.
Final
One
harvest.
final act of service.
Land
My
of the dead.
soldiers rise once more.
Crossbow falling. Crossbow falling.
sacrifice comes victory.
Open to the whispers. Embrace who you truly are.
My soldiers rise once more.
Crossbow forward.
Will reduce you to dust. Use up.
Your arrival proved timely, yet the battle rages on. We cannot rest until these invaders are purged from our skies.
We have all the corpses we need, Stitch Flesh. Prepare to strike at the next temple.
Just a moment longer. It seems that the parts for my new creation have arrived at last.
Drain fluids.
Open your mind to the whispers.
Tenderize.
Embrace who you truly are.
Spine crush.
Open your mind to the whispers. Embrace who you truly are.
Tenderize. Repair flesh. Spine crush. Tenderize.
Come, my assistants. These raw materials are in need of processing.
Throw cleaver. Drain fluids. Throw cleaver. Throw cleaver. Drain fluids. Throw cleaver. Morbid fixation. Drain fluids. Throw cleaver.
hooves! Gorgrind, try not to damage those limbs whilst you tear them off.
Tenderize. Slice.
Open your mind to the whispers. Embrace who you
Slice.
truly are.
Tenderize.
Vexing! Rotspew, get to work and don't fail me like your predecessor!
Skew disease.
No! Now I have to rebuild those two from scratch! I can't wait to put your corpse. I'll have you in stitches! I must preserve your parts for later. In the south, I know one who made you.
Open your mind to the whispers. Embrace who you truly are.
Compact, and all so much easier to work with.
Embalming icon.
My constructs can handle you on their own.
Creation.
I'm awfully proud of this one. In the south, I'm the one who made you. Have you no respect for craftsmanship? Yes, the many with arcane energy. All part of it. My constructs can handle you on their own.
Creation.
Another exquisite creation. In the south, I'm the one who made you.
Open your mind to the whispers.
Embalming icon.
Embrace who you
Meat hook.
truly are.
Meat hook.
My sleep was yet.
Bastion shall be laid to waste.
Icebound Aegis. Comet's Icebound Aegis.
Can escape the storm. I've had
Darkness Frozen
enough of
Vines.
you.
Frozen Vines. Frozen Vines. Icebound Aegis. Comet Storm.
Can
Icebound
escape
Aegis.
the storm.
Frozen Vines. Frozen Vines. Icebound Aegis.
storm.
Frozen vines. Frozen vines. Icebound Aegis. Icebound Aegis.
Can escape the storm.
Archon's light shine upon you.
Frozen vines. Frozen vines.
I've had
Dark
enough
Icebound
of
Aegis.
you.
Comet
None
Storm.
can escape the storm.
Icebound Aegis. Frozen vines. Frozen vines. Icebound Aegis. Comet Storm. Icebound
Can
Aegis.
escape the storm. I've
Dark
had enough
Exile.
of you.
Icebound Aegis. Comet Storm.
Can escape the storm.
Icebound Aegis.